How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good actually. It's so nice, isn't it, to be able to have some kind of freedom back again and to, resume our daily duties.
Absolutely. Roll on
Absolutely.
17th of May, not too long now.
And
Well, yes.
you're such a busy lady, aren't you, these days? So has that caused you some problems, the lockdown? Because obviously not so many events to go to. How did you fare during lockdown?
I think, we had a choice, didn't we? It was a very difficult time, and it was about trying to make the most of the situation, which was a difficult one. So I chose to knuckle down and do something which I was always putting off because I was always saying, I'm too busy, I've never got time. And I wrote Model Diaries UK, which went to the #1 bestseller. And it was really part of my, expression out there to bring together women and men of all cultures, all creeds, all ages, diversity, unity. And I just decided there was no excuse that I had the time to do it. So I did, and I'm really proud of that.
That's really inspirational.
Thank you.
Certainly didn't write it.
What do you think makes a good model, and why do you think there's so many great models in Great Britain?
Well, I didn't come from a modelling background. My background is journalism. And I was trained as a journalist from 17 years old, and then I got headhunted at the age of 25, and I came to the big bad world of London. I didn't know anybody here, and it was really scary. But I knew where I wanted to be, and I knew I always wanted to work in media. So it wasn't until a little bit later on in life, Ian, that I actually started to become involved with models of all different shapes and sizes and ages and so forth and cultures, and certainly mentoring them, where they were looking at me and saying, look, I'm 55, and so they were looking and saying, okay, so this is somebody that we can look up to, this is somebody that we can aspire to be, and as a kind of a mentor. So there's so much competition, isn't there, in London? And currently, it's still that stereotype of, your stick-thin woman that looks like an ironing board, which what I was when I was younger. Certainly, I'm not now. But I wanted to try to bring about a change where women are beautiful, whatever shape or size they are, and women of all shapes and sizes buy fashion. So I don't understand why, historically, we have always had a size 0 or 8 on the catwalk, because if you're a size 12 or a size 14, you need to have a look at those women and imagine yourself being able to wear those outfits. And I think sometimes, it's been really limiting. So my kind of job and my ambition, I guess, is really to change the way that, the catwalk and the fashion industry is viewed.
Helena.
Yeah, no, I think that's brilliant. I was just thinking, so you're like the Pied Piper, and you've got lots of people following you, which is brilliant. Is this a campaign that you're running, or is this, is it a campaign?
Well, it's not a campaign. It's just a drive. And I think that women, when they, and I can only address that as women because I am a woman, that women, when they reach sort of 40, 50 years old, feel forgotten. And I want to speak out and to say, that they're not. And I will continue to do that until I can't continue to do it anymore, because women of, 40, 50s, they've got experience in life. They've got this kind of like knowledge that they've achieved. They've brought up their children. They've had husbands and run the family life for so many years. And I just think it's really important to embrace older women in fashion, and it is difficult. I mean, I face it all the time, when people are asking, oh, well, I want a 30-year-old, I want them to be under 30, they've got to be this, they've got to be that. And, why? I want to ask the question of, why is that so important that, that a woman needs to be that certain age to be on the catwalk? Because every age and every size of woman buys fashion.
Absolutely. See, all these fashion houses have to come to you and take advice, I think. Hear.
Oh, well, thank you.
I mean, the book, is there a lot of the information and your knowledge, is that within the book itself? Well,
Ian, that's a really good question, and I want to say hello to you, by the way, because I haven't seen you for some time. And we've done several things. We did the African Fashion Week, and I saw you at the British Empire, because I won it at 50 years of age. And I'm actually a current reigning queen for WOW pageant, and I won it at 55. And so I think this is a really good question. And so for me, everything goes on a really deep level, about who we really are as people. And everybody is beautiful and they deserve to shine. So what I did, I'm just going to get it. So I basically put together the model diaries, and it was something that I did during lockdown, when people couldn't get together. I mean, I put a marquee in my garden when there was 6 people allowed, in the garden. And, I had walkie-talkies, we had bodyguards and everything. And we ran photo shoots for this book. And I'm so proud. It's a 7-part series, but, the kind of thing behind it is not so much the photography, the diaries of men and women and what they have experienced. And, there's some quite serious stuff in here. There's eating disorders, there's issues over abuse, there's it's serious. It's a serious look at women and men in the industry who, sometimes we look at them and we think, yeah, they're on the catwalk, they haven't experienced anything. And so what I wanted to do was to actually bring their lives to life, and via red carpet interviews, because that's what I am, the queen of red carpet hosting. And so I wanted to kind of incorporate all of that, but I want to go further with this and to bring even more diversity and more culture and really step out of the box here, with what people would normally consider as acceptable in that sort of genre of catwalk stuff.
What would you like to see the future in modelling then as well? You're talking about all ages, all sizes. Do you think that more and more fashion designers really need to listen to people like yourself as well, who are major influencers in the fashion world? Should they be sort of, because I was talking to one of my friends recently who is a fashion designer, and she was saying, well, if we make clothes for a catwalk over a certain size, it costs a lot more. And so it's a financial thing as well. What do you think about that?
Yeah, there's all this, there's a lot of information going on currently about sustainability, and believe it or not, there is so much, issues over sort of pollution and and everything that's going on, actually, believe it or not, with the fashion designers. So there's a lot of sustainability going on. There's a lot of people that are looking at the industry and trying to be really kind of, how can I explain it, environmentally healthy in terms of their designs. I think, it's a really, really good question, because with fashion over the years, classically, somebody always wants their design to be modelled on somebody that looks like a clothes horse, because it's easy. They literally can put that dress on, and there it is. And I've had so many conversations, because the Model Diaries has got quite a lot of different fashion designers in it, and some of them actually cater for a larger lady. And in my next book that I'm releasing, the next Model Diaries Series 2, I'm going to do plus size fashion designers and plus size, because that's really become quite a big thing over the past few years. And there's this. Sorry?
What is plus size?
Well, there's this real explosion now. I've presented quite a lot of shows for what they call the plus size pageants and the plus size models, which I would say are sort of 16 upwards. And for some of the shows that I've presented, they're sort of size 24, size 28, and they're getting publicity. They're out there, they're considered beautiful, which of course they are. So I think the industry is changing, and certainly with women that are sort of 40, 50 plus as well, because there's a whole lot of recognition now coming in for pageants and so forth that are, Miss Classic, which is 50 plus. And I think that's great. Do you know that? I say, yes, long may it continue.
Absolutely. I mean, you are an excellent role model for confident older women. So,
absolutely.
Well done to you.
What would you say is the best bit of advice, for aspiring models? What do you say in your book? What are the sort of key things to look out for? Say for parents wanting to put their child into modelling, what would you recommend?
Oh gosh, Ian, that's such a huge subject, because wouldn't it be nice if we could take the experience that we have now back to when we were 20 and implement it, and the safety element of things, and checking out people, making sure that they are genuine, making sure that you can look, you can Google different people to make sure that they are actually who they say they are before you get involved with working with them. But also, there's so many knockbacks, and I've been in the industry, since I was 17, really, although, as I say, I was a journalist, and so my background was really, in a big way, journalism. And then I suddenly kind of I came into the forefront much later on in life, maybe 40s. And I think it's just about believing in yourself and not really allowing people to knock you back. And the problem is, when you're young, is that you listen to that, and sometimes, you know where you want to be, and you have this drive and this ambition, but people are telling you that you're no good, or it's not the right way for you. And when you're young, you listen to this, and it can seriously put you off. Whereas now, I don't care. I'm 55. I'm going to achieve. I'm going to be exactly what I want to be. And that is I feel that when I talk to you, because it's really strong for me. And if somebody says no to me, I just know that it's not the right situation. And then I need to go somewhere else until I find the right situation. But the problem is that so many models, they get knockbacks, and they get told that they're no good. And when you're young, you know, you kind of believe this, you know, you take this on board. So my thing to, or my kind of words that I would say to all women is, if you know where you're going and you wake up and you have a passion that you cannot stop, right? Every day that passion is with you, then you have to carry on. And I didn't really, you know.
That's great advice. Deborah,
thank you so
unfortunately,
much.
we haven't got much more time. Deborah, how can people actually get hold of you and hold of the book?
Well, I'm all over the place. If you Google me, Deborah Jay Kelly, you'll find all sorts of stuff for me. But the Model Diaries, I can't find it. Sorry. So I've got so many websites, but one of them is www.themodeldiaries.co.uk, which is just this book, but it's not really about everything that I do. So I've also got www.deborahjkelly.com, which really shows, you know, all the hundreds of events that I've attended.
Thank you so much
Thank
for joining
you.
us.
Thank you.
It's been great fun.
We'll see you again soon.
Thank you
We'll have you back
so
on.
much.
Take
Thank
care.
you.